All right, the recording has started. So welcome to the January 28th, 2025 CHAOSS meetings. I have posted the agenda in the chat and we'll share my screen now so that we can look at this together. It's kind of a light agenda, but feel free to add anything that you saw that you think you should talk about. My first question is, did everyone have to enter a passcode
Yep.
for this meeting? Yes, okay.
I really thought I had that fixed last week. I
I,
swear.
s- I- I was in a meeting with other people and none of us needed a passcode. So I've
Mhm.
seen it fixed.
Was it one of the meetings with a different URL?
I think I should have been more careful with my lab notes on this discovery because I can't be certain. I certainly in my head it was the chaos room, but I
'Cause
I could be wrong.
Is the scientific software one is a different URL?
It used to be, but it's not anymore.
Okay, now clicked.
In metrics
Yeah.
and metric models, we didn't need it.
Okay, yeah, that's the one. So like I've seen it fixed, I just don't understand what, so it's not fixed again.
Yeah, in university. So I knew it was fixed.
We need to file a ticket with the Linux Foundation.
I
It's
did, and then it got fixed, and then
Got unfixed.
Johnson. I mean, he's super nice. They're very responsive, but his response was, like you either have to have that or a waiting room. And so maybe my fix, I don't know, like violated some policy and it it made it go back.
they have some automation in place that enforces the passcode and that makes changes.
That's possible.
But
I
it
mean,
was Linux Foundation made. Did we confirm that? That was just my guess.
What's that?
Was it a change that the Linux Foundation started enforcing? Is that why we ended?
I didn't ask that.
Okay. But he did say we had to have a passcode or a waiting room.
Yep, or a waiting room. Yep.
I don't think we want a waiting room. That's kind of annoying.
It is because somebody
it
has
is. My only worry is when we have newcomers and they get to that passcode and they have no idea what it is, that it's harder to not,
Well,
it's harder to,
we can embed the passcode in the meeting URLs.
Yeah.
okay.
So that's what we need to do. It's just that requires going through and changing every single meeting notice and letting people know that they need to recopy those to their calendars.
Will the old version of like the meeting ID and the passcode still work if you have the combined link too? So at least people can do one way or the other? I'm just asking, out of curiosity. Like most of the meetings that I run on Zoom, they all have the passcode encoded in the URL for I don't know how long. So I was just wondering if it's like just grabbing a different link and then hopefully people will be able to do one or the other.
Yeah, you can still do one or the other for sure.
Okay.
I have
Then,
done that.
yeah.
It's just we just need to get it and we just need to get the link, the passcode embedded in all the links. Because it's a separate kind of link from
Yeah.
Zoom.
Oh, Zoom.
okay.
So thanks for that. Thanks everyone for that discussion. Um, I'm not, is the need a facilitator after next week? Is that a permanent thing where Elizabeth isn't going to be able to facilitate, or I guess I don't quite know what's behind this one.
She's at State of OpenCon, so she can't facilitate 2 weeks in a row. Because
I
she was
see.
traveling today and then State of OpenCon next
Okay.
week. So it's just all related to the travel.
Okay, and so Matt, are you volunteered to do next week then?
Fine.
Is that okay? All right, cool. Thank you. We have CHAOSScon North America confirmed, and that is the CFP is open until February 17th. There is a visa letter request process and some scholarships and travel funding for those interested. Any questions about that or things folks want to talk about with regards to CHAOSScon 2025 North America? And so this Thursday date, this is after the conference, right? It's a post-conference workshop, and historically we've done pre-conference, but now it's post-conference. Is there any?
All of the
Is that
co events are after the conference, since the conference is
Okay.
on Wednesday. So it'll be the same day as all the other colos again. So
Perfect.
some people will have conflicts with the other events.
That's at least good that everything is after, so we're not like the one lingering co-located event after.
Yeah, it always
Yeah.
feels weird if you're alone.
I think
Yeah, and they have some
for
on
that-
Friday. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
They used to do the co-located events on Monday and then the conference. And I think starting at the last one or maybe a year ago, like they just switched it up and then they moved it. All the co-located ones right after the conference, which I was really annoyed about because when they did the switch, I actually really would have loved to use that Monday morning for travel, but I couldn't. But yeah, it's all like everything in on one day.
All right, well, cool. I'm glad that's confirmed. And that's the nice thing about that one, for what it's, the good thing is that it's relatively inexpensive for us to run because the LF provides so much.
Mhm.
The tricky part is that you have to register through the LF. So like it's harder to, you have to pay or be like a speaker at Open Source Summit North America, and then subsequently make your way through there for registration.
Right. And the cost is that you have to be registered for OSSNA in order to register for CHAOSScon, right?
That's right.
All right, so that's that. I just had a brief item that Augur did a release earlier or late last week. And that release really fixes a bunch of little things that people have identified with collection. It also accelerates the message and event collection aspects of Augur. So just keep on trucking. It's going good there. That's all I really have to say about that. I don't know who added the next item, the U.S. attack on DEI.
That
Hey,
was
David.
me.
Thank you.
I don't know if we want to talk about it. I thought because you do the DEI badging, that it might be relevant for people to know that the, incoming Trump administration has immediately put the hard press on DEI and it's
And
trying
they haven't just said stop.
Oh yeah, they have.
I know, but it's been more than that. It's been it's open hostility towards this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're
Action.
trying to root it out from every federal agency. They're closing all the offices and they sent emails out to people at NIH and others that that they should if they discover anybody doing DEI, they need to report on them. So it's kind of a tattletale network. It's I don't know how legal any of it is, but that they just go out. Just want people to know that that's happening. So I have one thought about this. Is somebody suggested this at I think it was a public interest technology conference a year ago, before any of this was changing the name of DEI to JEDI and adding justice. And I love that idea personally. It's a cooler acronym, but nevertheless, we are proudly having our DEI badge flown for our conference, and we are embracing DEI. So just wanted to bring that up.
As a note, the CHAOSS project does not receive federal funding.
Mhm.
We haven't, so we are at least separate
We're
from it.
Yeah, so we're immune from the spigots that got cut off the last few days. But not this. I feel like there are lists of companies who are continuing DEI that are Linux Foundation members, and there are lists of companies who are scaling back their DEI efforts that are Linux Foundation supporters or members. So, I mean, I think I feel like we're probably okay sitting on the middle here and just continuing to do what we do.
I personally believe it's more important than ever to continue to do this good work. My personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I don't
agree.
think I don't think I was going to argue with you about that for sure.
I just have to walk down the street to get the arguments.
You're right in the center.
Yeah.
It's strangely calm and not like that weird. So there are different people riding the metro that you wonder about now.
Yeah. So that's other. If there aren't any other items, call the time the reminders are here. Um, this is our issue template. Podcasts, news via Slack. Nominate someone to be chaotic of the week, and if you've given a talk about open source, add your slides to the education repo. And here's a calendar of upcoming events. I turn it over to anyone that wants to bring up any other additional items today.
It was mostly just on that last one. Does anybody have a sense of whether or not jobs in tech are picking up at all, particularly around open source? I know that it swings. Don, I was kind of wondering if you've been hearing anything.
Yeah, I would say that, I mean, it's sort of anecdotal and based on just what I see from, friends and people I follow online, but it does seem to be picking up a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, there's always it's hard to tell because there's a natural lull between Thanksgiving and New Year's because nobody's doing anything. But I do know some friends who have started new jobs and are and then others that are still looking. So I know it's still a pretty tough job market, but I am starting to see more jobs posted. I watched kind of the to-do group job Slack and the Turing Institute and then the one we have on CHAOSS as well. And I've been seeing some things posted more so than in
Okay.
the past.
I can say anecdotally, the students I have, which are of course early, they'd be taking their first job, they're more optimistic and having more conversations this year compared with last year, for what that's worth.
I think it's worth quite a bit. Um, we're obviously positioned in this space and like downturns and not a lot of funding or a lot of people unemployed. I think that's not great for us. Kind of at that
Not great for
larger
anyone.
level. And the more it can pick up, I think the better it is for projects like the CHAOSS project. So I do think it matters. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. It matters. It matters quite a lot because we've seen in the past couple of years the downturn in OSPOs, where OSPOs have been letting people go, and that's been one of the sweet spots for people who use metrics
Yeah.
from this project.
Yep.
So that's been a little disheartening. So I'm hoping that picks back up. I haven't really seen a lot of OSPOs expanding again yet, but I'm seeing other people getting different roles, and then there is also getting back to this, kind of the US government stuff. There are a lot of people, like CISA was staffed with a whole bunch of tech people who are now basically looking for work. And there are also, people who were supposed to start new jobs and maybe not in the tech space, but who aren't now because they put, basically a stop on all new hiring. So we've seen some things in the US government that are definitely not encouraging.
Okay. Okay, well, that's at least good on not on the government side, but at least good on the corporate side of things. Because I think about like this project and to do and like open chain that are kind of in this space of supporting, or at least they have quite a bit of engagement with OSPOs. Not to put David on the spot. I mean, I'm wondering, I'll be curious to see how university OSPOs kind of go as well, because there's also kind of a connection. If federal science funding goes down, that's a typically large piece of the pie for a university. I mean, it can be 25 to 50% of a budget at the university. And so if that funding goes down, I could, anyway. Not sure.
My friends who operate politically have suggested to me that cutting off federal funding to states will alienate every single member of Congress, and so it's unlikely to last long. That's a hearsay based political assessment.
Mine was more like NIH and NSF funding.
No, that's what I meant.
Oh,
Like Missouri, which is not the biggest research state in the country, gets $1 billion in NIH and NSF every year.
right.
A billion.
And you take that out of the pie, and
Yeah.
something's got to give.
Yeah, you've alienated every single member of Congress. So I don't
Yeah.
think it can last. But
I
it's crazy
think
town.
our provost is under the assumption that this is, short-term uncertainty and
Okay.
things will start to calm down.
Okay.
But who knows?
Okay. It's just something to think about, I think, with the rise of a lot of the corporate OSPOs and then university OSPOs as well. Those are real important points of connection for us. And just kind of keeping our eye on those.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good idea.
Good news is the Sloan Foundation is also not a U.S. federal funder. So
No, I agree with that.
those grants
Yeah.
are presumably okay.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, thank you.
Any other topics that anyone wants to raise? Hearing none, I think I can give you back half an hour of your life
Take a
if
half
you
hour.
want it.
What time's your flight, Sean?
My flight's not till 2:10. This is the whole, I'm here early because of the dead car giving me less flexibility than I had 48 hours ago.
You just had to hop on the shuttle, no matter when it
Yep.
was. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Sounds good.
Safe travels and have fun at FOSDEM, y'all.
All right,
Indeed.
we will. We'll report back.
All right. Bye.
Bye.